Well, also here at COP26, it's not all about the jazzy backgrounds, the spinning globes and the world leaders. There's lots else going on as well. And yesterday, I took a little walk around the entire convention centre here in the Blue Zone, the UN-controlled Blue Zone, to see exactly what was going on. I started off by looking at some of the furniture. Even the seats here at COP26 are environmentally friendly, made of cut-down trees. I'm not sure exactly how that's meant to be better for the environment, or even longer lasting for the environment than ordinary sofa or furnitures, but that's what it is. It's the sign that celebrities and world leaders are all having their photos taken by. But is it real? Is it plastic? It's actually real. There's soil in the little indents here that's keeping an alive plant growing out of the COP26 sign. I've got to say there's a certain irony in hosting a global warming conference in one of the coldest parts of the UK. People are walking around either shivering or wearing coats. This is one of the exhibition halls here at COP26 and it is busy. One of the overriding themes of this conference is just how many people there are here. 30,000 in total have descended upon Glasgow and many people are exhibiting their exhibits to them. We've got the Egypt pavilion on the left there, boasting about wind turbines. I thought that Egypt was more famous for its dams, but there, a big wind turbine on the Egypt pavilion. Who knew? Now, this is the German federal government stand here, and of course Germany has had a bit of a troubled time in terms of reducing its CO2 emissions in the last 10 years. Why? They closed all of their nuclear power stations after Fukushima, an idiotic decision. Not going to lie, not a lot going on at the Sierra Leone stand. Pretty empty. Despite Turkish President Erdogan not coming along to COP26, Turkey is still represented. Here's their big stand. Ironically, the US centre isn't at the centre at all. It's at the back, near the bins. Lots of people walking around here looking purposeful, doing next to nothing at all. We're entering the negotiation zone here. It's a lot less fun than the exhibition zone, but my gosh, you can see all of these temporary constructions, each one belonging to a different country. And this is what COP really is all about. It's not the exhibition spaces, it's the negotiations, the negotiators representing their countries and putting their countries' interests on the negotiating table. Lots of different countries with lots of different offices. Poland here, China, Senegal over there, Spain. I've got to say that a few organisations have been a lot less fun with their decorations than others. We see the very plain British Council here next door to Liechtenstein, which of course has adorned its door with wonderful scenery from its country. And what's this over here? There's an even more spectacular display. This is Indonesia, who have attached some plants to their door as well. Really quite fantastic stuff. A lot less boring than some other countries. Now, some COPs are meant to be bigger and some are a little bit smaller. We've all heard of Kyoto, we've all heard of Paris, but how many people have heard of Madrid in 2019? Not much came out of that COP. It was a bit of a COP flop. The question about this COP is, will it be as big as it's branded? Will it live up to these expectations? Will there be a new international agreement? Something else that goes on is people with microphones stand around talking to cameras. We've got an example of this right here. Make our planet great again. The French pavilion seems to have a bit of a Trumpish tone to its affairs here. Well, while I take a little break by this Formula E racing car, I've got to say that a member of the French delegation, the official French delegation, came up to us as we were filming that bit outside their pavilion to say that actually "Make the world great again" is a slogan that COP has used before Trump used it. She almost went as far as to suggest that Donald Trump might have nicked it from them. Well, it's an audacious claim. President Joe Biden walking out of that meeting room there following a finance summit with other world leaders, walking up the stairs, out and away. We're standing in the centre of one of the busiest, most important spots at COP26. Just less than an hour ago, the President of the United States walked up those stairs to exit a meeting that was held in an adjacent room. We've got world leaders walking through by the minute this corridor down to the more exclusive zone through those doors at the end, but also media, activists, world leaders and indeed business people, all here descending onto Glasgow to try and agree that something must be done about climate change. Here at one of the restaurants in the convention centre, you can see that they're listing the food items by the amount of carbon they emit. The lowest coming from the canned Scottish beetroot and broccoli, and the highest coming from the Scottish beef burger. I have to say, I had the Scottish beef burger. Earthling ID cards from the Eden Project sounds incredibly sinister. Justin Trudeau, why are CO2 emissions rising compared to 1990? Now this is the bit that I'm not allowed to go inside, because this is where all the important people are. And as you can see, people on the door stopping the less important from going in. Well, here we are right at the end of the complex of COP26, and what an enormous complex it is, ranging right the way from here, miles and miles and miles in metaphorical senses, down to where we were filming at the start. And what is it full of? What's the takeaway? It's full of lots of world leaders wanting to look incredibly important, walking around importantly, and probably deciding not all that much at all.